In the dense foliage of Kanto's forests, among leaves that dwarf its tiny body, crawls one of nature's most vulnerable yet most remarkable creatures. Soft-bodied, defenseless, and hunted by nearly every predator, this small larva seems destined for a brief existence. Yet within its simple form lies one of biology's most spectacular miracles. In just 7 days, this helpless caterpillar will dissolve its own body and emerge reborn as a master of the skies. Today, we follow the extraordinary journey of Caterpie. Welcome to PokeGeo. Caterpie's evolutionary history traces back 300 million years to the Carboniferous period when the first insects capable of complete metamorphosis emerged. Fossil evidence in amber from Viridian forest, dating back 120 million years, reveals insects remarkably similar to modern Caterpie. The distinctive eye spots evolved 60 million years ago as anti-predator adaptations when avian predation intensified following dinosaur extinction. The species' ability to complete its life cycle in 3 weeks represents rapid reproduction strategy, allowing multiple generations annually. Ancient silk textiles from 5,000 years ago contain fibers identical to Caterpie cocoon material, suggesting early peoples harvested the silk. Cave art depicts caterpillars alongside butterfly forms, indicating ancient observers understood the metamorphic connection. Caterpie thrives in deciduous and mixed forests throughout Kanto, where abundant foliage provides food and shelter. Optimal habitats feature 60 to 80% canopy coverage, maintaining humidity between 70 and 85%. The species favors forest edges and clearings where young, tender leaves grow, with edge populations exceeding interior forests by 3 to 5 times. Viridian forest supports estimated populations exceeding 8 million during peak summer. Caterpie adapts successfully to urban parks, gardens, and orchards. Newly hatched larvae remain on their emergence leaf, while growing individuals move to larger leaves and branch tips, constructing silk pads for secure attachment. Temperatures between 22 and 28 degrees enable larval growth in 7 to 10 days, while cooler conditions extend this to 3 weeks. A newly hatched Caterpie measures 3 millimeters and weighs less than 1 milligram, growing within 7 to 14 days to 50 millimeters and 5 grams. A 5,000-fold mass increase representing one of nature's fastest growth rates. The soft, flexible exoskeleton allows continuous stretching, but makes Caterpie vulnerable to desiccation and predation. Green coloration provides camouflage, with intensity influenced by dietary chlorophyll. Large eye spots on the first body segment aren't true eyes but pigmented patterns creating illusion of a larger creature's face, startling inexperienced predators. Actual vision comes from simple ocelli detecting only light and movement. Powerful mandibles cut through tough leaves, with individuals consuming 300 times their initial body weight during larval period, feeding nearly continuously. The fat body stores enormous energy reserves for metamorphosis, comprising 40% of total body mass as Caterpie approaches final size. Caterpie is strictly diurnal, becoming active after dawn once temperatures exceed 16 degrees. Peak feeding occurs morning and late afternoon, with midday rest conserving energy. Feeding is methodical, starting at leaf edges and consuming inward, leaving characteristic curved damage. Mandibles move 2 to 3 times per second, creating audible crackling when large numbers feed. Between feeding, individuals produce silk trails providing secure footing and preventing fatal falls. Social behavior is absent, though high densities create aggregations that may provide protection through predator satiation. Primary defense is crypsis, remaining motionless relying on green coloration. When disturbed, individuals rear front segments displaying intimidating ocelli. Some regurgitate partially digested material as bitter deterrent, though this sacrifices nutrients. Molting occurs 4 to 5 times, with individuals seeking secure locations and remaining motionless 12 to 24 hours while defenseless. Final instar behavior changes as metamorphosis approaches, with feeding ceasing and individuals migrating to locate optimal pupation sites. Caterpie feeds exclusively on deciduous tree and shrub foliage, preferring oak, maple, ash, fruit trees, and understory shrubs. Newly hatched larvae consume only the emergence leaf's soft tissue, creating window pane damage. Growing larvae tackle progressively tougher material, with final instars consuming entire large leaves, 15 to 20 square centimeters daily. Ideal diet contains 20 to 25% protein, but most foliage contains only 8 to 15%, necessitating enormous consumption volumes with 70 to 80%, passing through incompletely digested. Strong preference for young spring leaves with higher protein, lower fiber, and fewer defensive compounds means population explosions coincide with leaf-out periods. Some plant compounds are sequestered and retained through metamorphosis, providing chemical defense in adult butterfree. Water comes entirely from foliage moisture. Outbreak years see complete defoliation over hundreds of hectares, though most trees tolerate this once per season. Caterpie occupies critical position as primary consumer. A single hectare supports 5,000 to 10,000 individuals during peak season, collectively consuming hundreds of kilograms of foliage. This herbivory influences plant community structure, though feeding damage triggers compensatory growth responses and frass contributes substantial soil nutrients. Caterpie serves as keystone prey species. Avian predators consume 40 to 60% annually, making birds the single largest mortality source. Parasitoid wasps and flies account for 20 to 30%, with larvae consuming caterpillars from within. Populations exhibit 3 to 5 year cycles, with outbreak and crash years driven by host plant quality, weather, and time-lagged predator responses. Caterpie development timing synchronizes remarkably with host plant phenology and avian breeding, representing evolutionary coordination across trophic levels. Ancient peoples harvested Caterpie chrysalises for silk, with 4,000-year-old textiles containing identical fibers. Traditional sericulture persisted until early 20th century. Modern relationships center on agricultural perspectives, where the species balances between pest and beneficial organism. Heavy infestations defoliate fruit trees, reducing yields, though damage is typically cosmetic. Integrated pest management increasingly favors tolerance over pesticides. Forest managers view Caterpie positively, recognizing defoliation rarely causes mortality while predator populations provide ecosystem services. Urban encounters range from fascination to disgust, though Caterpie is completely harmless. Educational programs utilizing Caterpie for teaching metamorphosis prove exceptionally effective with brief life cycle and dramatic transformation, ideal for classrooms. The species serves as model organism for metamorphosis and developmental biology research. Caterpie populations serve as bioindicators of environmental health. Transition to metapod begins when larvae cease feeding after 7 to 14 days, seeking secure pupation sites and attaching with silk. Over 6 to 12 hours, final molt reveals the chrysalis, a hardened green triangular structure 30 millimeters long. Inside, nearly all larval tissues dissolve through histolysis into protein-rich soup. Simultaneously, imaginal discs carrying adult structure blueprints activate and rapidly divide. Over 7 to 14 days, these reorganize cellular material into entirely new structures. Wings form, compound eyes develop, chewing mouthparts become coiled proboscis, and internal organs rebuild completely. Transformation requires 40% of stored energy, explaining why inadequately fed individuals die during pupation. The emerging butterfree measures 30 centimeters wingspan, dramatically different with wings requiring 1 to 2 hours to expand and harden. 15 to 20% fail to survive this vulnerable period. Adult lifespan spans 2 to 4 weeks focused on reproduction. with complete metamorphosis allowing larvae and adults to exploit entirely different resources, eliminating competition between life stages. Primary threat is habitat loss, with deciduous forests declining 2% annually through urbanization and agricultural expansion, fragmenting populations and reducing genetic diversity. Pesticides represent the most significant direct mortality, with broad-spectrum insecticides killing indiscriminately and neonicotinoids causing sublethal effects, reducing adult reproductive success. Climate change accelerates development, creating phenological mismatches. Caterpie emerge 5 to 7 days earlier than historical norms, while plants advance only 2 to 3 days, narrowing optimal condition windows. Invasive plants displace native hosts, providing lower quality foliage. Artificial lighting disrupts adult behavior, reducing reproductive success by 30 to 50% in light-polluted areas. Current status classifies Caterpie as secure across most range, though developed areas show concerning declines. Conservation focuses on habitat protection and restoration, pesticide reduction through integrated pest management, public education promoting pollinator-friendly practices, and citizen science programs engaging volunteers in monitoring while building awareness and support. Caterpie reminds us that vulnerability and strength are different chapters in the same story. This tiny creature carries within the seeds of transformation, the potential to become something entirely new. The journey from helpless larva to graceful butterfly is more than biological process. It is a profound metaphor for change and potential. As we walk through forests where thousands crawl among leaves, we must remember these small lives matter, that their transformations ripple through entire ecosystems. The story of Caterpie teaches us that dramatic transformations often begin with the smallest, most vulnerable creatures. Join us next time as we explore another extraordinary species, one that has taken transformation in an entirely different direction. This has been PokeGeo. Until next time, keep exploring the wonders of our natural world.